You feel it, don't you? That pervasive hum of anxiety, a subtle undercurrent of dread that the world is spinning out of control. The relentless news cycle, the global challenges, the daily pressures, they can make your nervous system feel like it's constantly on high alert, triggering a cascade of stress hormones. It's an automatic reaction, a primal survival instinct signaling danger even when no immediate threat is present. Perhaps your chest feels tight, your breath shallow, your thoughts racing, jumping from one potential catastrophe to the next. You might find yourself scrolling endlessly, seeking answers or reassurance, only to feel more overwhelmed, more helpless. This isn't just a fleeting mood, it's a physiological state, a biological response designed for acute threats, not the chronic, abstract anxieties of the 21st century. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm bell, is constantly ringing, convinced that a saber-toothed tiger is just around the corner, leaving your prefrontal cortex, the seat of rational thought and planning, struggling to gain purchase. This constant state of vigilance, known as allostatic load, depletes your mental and physical resources, leading to fatigue, irritability, and a diminished capacity for joy and presence. But what if you could find a sanctuary, a place of unshakable calm, no matter how turbulent the external world becomes? This feeling of overwhelm is precisely what Marcus Aurelius addressed with his profound concept of the inner citadel. He wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This isn't about denial or burying your head in the sand. It's about conscious redirection, about recognizing that while you cannot control external events, you retain absolute sovereignty over your judgments and reactions to them. Marcus, an emperor burdened by war, plague, and political intrigue, understood the immense pressure of external chaos. His inner citadel was his mental fortress, a sanctuary of reason and tranquility he could retreat to at will, protecting his core self from the relentless assault of the world. Modern neuroscience confirms that by engaging your prefrontal cortex, you can deliberately override those amygdala-driven fear responses. The brain is not static. It possesses remarkable neuroplasticity, meaning its structure and function can change in response to experience and deliberate practice. When you consciously choose to disengage from rumination and focus on what is within your control, you are literally rewiring your brain, strengthening the neural pathways associated with calm, clarity, and intentional response, and weakening those associated with automatic anxiety. The vagus nerve, a critical component of your parasympathetic nervous system, plays a pivotal role here. Activating it through controlled breathing can downregulate your stress response, shifting your body from fight or flight to rest and digest. Cognitive behavioral therapy provides the practical framework for this Stoic reframing. CBT teaches us to identify and challenge automatic negative thoughts that arise from external events. When the news triggers thoughts like, "the world is falling apart and I can't do anything," CBT encourages you to pause, examine the evidence, and reframe that thought into something more realistic and empowering, such as, "global events are complex, and while I can't control everything, I can control my response and contribute positively in my immediate sphere." This active process of challenging cognitive distortions aligns perfectly with the Stoic discipline of assent, where we withhold our judgment from impressions that are not clear or useful. By focusing on your sphere of influence, your thoughts, your actions, your character, you move from passive worry to active presence. This deliberate practice builds resilience, strengthening the neural pathways of calm and reducing the chronic activation of stress hormones like cortisol, which, when elevated for prolonged periods, can impair memory, decision-making, and overall well-being. Your actionable micro method today is the Citadel breath. When you feel that familiar surge of anxiety, that tightness in your chest, or the rapid-fire thoughts, take 60 seconds, or even just a few conscious breaths. Find a quiet moment if possible. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Begin by inhaling slowly through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand. Hold your breath gently for a count of 7. Then, exhale slowly and completely through your mouth, making a soft whooshing sound for a count of 8. Repeat this cycle 4 times. As you breathe, visualize your mind as an impregnable fortress, your inner citadel. Its walls are strong, made of reason and calm. External noise, the chaotic news, the worries about the future, are like the wind against its walls or waves crashing harmlessly against a solid rock. You, inside, are perfectly still, perfectly safe, perfectly in control of your internal landscape. This isn't about ignoring the world. It's about recognizing that your core self is distinct from the external turbulence. After these breaths, identify one tiny, controllable action you can take, even if it's just taking another conscious breath, standing up and stretching, drinking a glass of water, or sending one email. This micro-action grounds you further in the present, pulling you from abstract worry into concrete engagement. Practice this Citadel breath whenever you feel overwhelmed today. Notice how quickly your heart rate steadies, your breathing deepens, and your focus sharpens. This isn't just a temporary fix. It's a deliberate act of self-regulation that begins to rewire your brain. Over time, this practice shifts you from a state of passive worry to active presence, reclaiming your inner balance and strengthening your mental resilience. This isn't about avoiding the storm, but about becoming the eye of it. How does this immediate shift in your physiological state feel, and what does it reveal about your capacity for self-mastery? Continuing the work of the Citadel breath, which brings us into a state of active presence and grounds us in our immediate controllable actions, we now turn our attention to the vast landscape of what truly lies within our power. The initial calm achieved through breathwork is the foundation upon which we build the robust walls of our inner citadel. It helps us pause, creating a crucial gap between stimulus and response, allowing reason to step in where automatic reaction once held sway. From that practice follows a deeper understanding of where our energy is best invested, preventing us from squandering precious mental and emotional resources on things beyond our reach. This is where one of the most fundamental tenets of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control, becomes not just a philosophical concept, but a profoundly practical tool for daily living and sustained psychological well-being. Epictetus, the former slave who became a revered Stoic teacher, articulated this with crystal clarity. Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. He emphasized that our opinions, impulses, desires, and aversions, our judgments and reactions, are entirely within our control. Everything else, our bodies, property, reputation, and external events, are not. The modern mind, constantly bombarded by information and societal pressures, often struggles with this distinction. We are conditioned to believe that if we just worry enough, research enough, or complain enough, we might somehow influence the uncontrollable. This cognitive distortion, often identified in CBT as catastrophizing or over-responsibility, leads to chronic anxiety and a pervasive sense of powerlessness. When your brain is constantly attempting to solve problems it cannot solve, it remains in a heightened state of stress. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions like planning and decision-making, becomes fatigued. Cortisol levels remain elevated, impacting memory, attention, and emotional regulation. This is the neurobiological basis for why endless rumination on external events leaves you feeling drained and ineffective, rather than empowered. Conversely, when you consciously delineate what is truly yours to manage, you activate neural circuits associated with problem-solving and agency, shifting your brain from a reactive fear state to a proactive solution-oriented mode. Studies in positive psychology and CBT consistently show that cultivating a sense of personal agency, even in small areas, significantly reduces perceived stress and improves overall mental health. The dichotomy of control is not about resignation or apathy. It's about strategic action and intelligent energy allocation. It's about focusing your efforts where they can actually make a difference, thereby maximizing your effectiveness and conserving your precious internal resources. Think of your mind's energy as a finite resource, like water in a well. If you pour it into cracked vessels, it will simply leak away, leaving you parched. But if you channel it into sturdy containers, it can be used to nourish and build. This Stoic principle, when applied consistently, acts as a powerful filter, helping you discern where to invest your mental and emotional capital. It's a powerful antidote to the modern epidemic of overwhelm, where we often feel obligated to have an opinion or take action on every global crisis, regardless of our actual capacity to influence it. Your actionable micro method today is the 3 circles of control exercise. This is a practical application of Epictetus's wisdom, designed to bring clarity and focus to your daily challenges. First, identify a specific source of current worry or anxiety. It could be a work project, a personal relationship dynamic, a global news item, or even a future uncertainty. Next, draw 3 concentric circles on a piece of paper or simply visualize them in your mind. Label the innermost circle fully mine, the middle circle partly mine, and the outermost circle beyond me. Next, take that worry and break it down into its constituent parts. List every element, every aspect, every potential outcome associated with it. For example, if your worry is about a difficult conversation with a colleague, how the colleague reacts, the timing of the conversation, the overall team dynamic, the colleague's personality, their past experiences, their personal problems, the company's overall culture, external pressures on them. The awe of this exercise lies in its immediate impact on your nervous system. When your brain sees a clear plan, especially one that delineates actionable steps within your control, cortisol levels demonstrably drop. Neuroscientific studies show that taking even small, deliberate steps towards a goal activates the brain's reward system and reduces the perceived threat, thereby calming the amygdala and engaging the prefrontal cortex more effectively. CBT studies consistently report that when individuals move from rumination to planning and action, even on seemingly small items, anxiety scores can decrease significantly, sometimes by as much as 27% in the short term. This isn't just about feeling better, it's about becoming more effective. Once you've sorted your worry into the 3 circles, focus exclusively on the fully mine and partly mine circles. For each item in these 2 columns, assign 1 O or you can take. For the fully mined items, these actions are direct and immediate. For the partly mined items, your actions should focus on influence rather than control. For example, if colleagues' reaction is in partly mine, your action might be practice active listening or prepare open-ended questions. Apply the 3 circles of control to your most pressing worry right now. By doing so, you'll feel your anxiety transition from a diffuse, overwhelming dread into mobilized, purposeful focus. You are actively training your brain to distinguish between what truly warrants your energy and what does not. This clarity cultivates a profound sense of agency, allowing you to operate from a position of strength rather than reaction. What specific controllable action will you commit to today based on this distinction? The clarity and mobilized focus gained from understanding the dichotomy of control set the stage for sustained inner peace, shifting us from reactive individuals to deliberate architects of our mental landscape. As we move through the day, applying our energy strategically to what is within our sphere of influence, it becomes equally crucial to reflect on our journey, to learn from our experiences, and to fortify our inner citadel for the challenges yet to come. This is where the wisdom of the Stoics offers another profound yet simple practice, the evening audit, a ritual of self-examination that serves as both a review and a preparation. From that practice follows not just an assessment of the day, but a powerful act of psychological integration and future-proofing against anxiety. In our modern, fast-paced world, it's all too easy to rush from one task to the next, from one day to the next, without pausing to process our experiences. This lack of reflection allows unexamined thoughts and emotional residues to accumulate, leading to rumination, poor sleep, and a feeling of being perpetually behind or overwhelmed. Your brain, in its attempt to make sense of the day's events, will often default to replaying negative interactions or perceived failures, especially during the quiet hours before sleep. This is because the brain has a negativity bias, a survival mechanism that prioritizes potential threats and mistakes to learn from them. While useful in some contexts, it can easily spiral into unhelpful anxiety when not consciously managed. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive functions, performs best when given periods of rest and structured reflection. Without this, it struggles to consolidate learning and regulate emotions effectively, leaving you vulnerable to the same mental pitfalls tomorrow. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, understood the immense power of nightly reflection. He wrote in his letters, "When the light has been removed and my wife, long since aware of my habit, has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I have done and said. I conceal nothing from myself. I pass nothing over." This isn't about self-flagellation or dwelling on mistakes. It's about honest self-assessment, a dispassionate review of your performance against your own chosen values and principles. It's a critical component of what the Stoics called the discipline of assent, the practice of giving or withholding your agreement to impressions, ensuring your judgments are rational and aligned with virtue. By reviewing your day, you train your mind to objectively analyze situations, reinforcing positive behaviors and identifying areas for growth, much like a pilot reviewing their flight data to improve future performance. Building on the structured day you've cultivated by applying the dichotomy of control, close with a nightly journal inspired by Seneca. This isn't a free-form diary, it's a structured inquiry designed for maximum psychological benefit. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes before bed. Find a quiet space, perhaps with a warm, dim light. The ritual itself signals to your nervous system that it's time to transition from active doing to reflective processing. Your Stoic evening journal ritual will revolve around 3 simple yet profound questions. 1. What stayed under my control today? Reflect on moments where you successfully managed your judgments, reactions, and efforts, particularly in the face of external challenges. Did you practice the Citadel breath when anxiety arose? Did you apply the 3 circles of control to a worry? Acknowledge these successes, no matter how small. This reinforces positive neural pathways, building self-efficacy and confidence. 2. What did I choose to ignore? Reflect on moments when you managed your attention, tolerated distractions, and resisted unnecessary reactions. Did you focus your energy strategically on what is within your sphere of influence? This ability to resist or avoid distractions is crucial to harnessing your time and psychological energy. 3. What did I choose to let go of? Think of moments when you recognized something was beyond your control and chose to let it go. Did you manage your anxiety when a situation was out of your hands? Were you able to peel back the 3 circles of control to focus your efforts? A great sense of accomplishment might come from not falling for emotional restencies. This creates space for new thoughts and opportunities when your mind and body are no longer burdened. It teaches your brain to recognize and repeat effective coping strategies. 2. What slipped from my control and why? This is not about blame, but about learning. Identify instances where you reacted impulsively, allowed external events to dictate your mood, or gave assent to unhelpful impressions. Critically, ask, was it lack of sleep, hunger, a specific trigger? Understanding the why allows you to identify patterns and develop preventative strategies for the future. This is a core CBT technique, recognizing triggers and challenging automatic negative reactions. By identifying these slips, you are not condemning yourself, but gathering data for future improvement, much like a scientist refining an experiment. 3. What did I learn today and how will I apply it tomorrow? This is the forward-looking, proactive component. Based on your reflections, what insight did you gain? What specific, actionable change can you implement tomorrow to better align with your values and maintain your inner calm? This question transforms passive reflection into active learning and planning, priming your brain for better performance the next day. It's about making neuroplasticity work you, consciously shaping your habits and responses. This nightly ritual does more than just review. It seals the loop of your day, preventing rumination and reducing the cognitive load you carry into sleep. By consciously processing the day's events and assigning them meaning, you reduce the likelihood of your mind replaying anxious thoughts during the night. Research shows that consistent journaling, especially reflective and structured journaling, can significantly improve sleep quality, reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, and enhance emotional regulation. It provides a structured outlet for mental processing, ensuring that thoughts are filed away rather than left to churn. Furthermore, this evening audit naturally leads into another powerful Stoic practice, per deus mata, or the premeditation of evils. While it sounds morbid, it's actually a profound anxiety reduction technique. After reviewing your day and learning from it, spend a moment contemplating potential challenges or difficulties that arise tomorrow. This isn't about dwelling on negativity. It's about calmly considering what could go wrong and, more importantly, if it did, drawing upon the strength of your inner citadel. Seneca advised, "He robs the present who is too much concerned about the future." Premeditation is the antidote to this. By mentally rehearsing your virtuous response to adversity, you inoculate yourself against its sting. You're preparing your mind not for the worst to happen, but for to emerge regardless of what happens. This cognitive rehearsal builds mental resilience, making you less reactive and more prepared when actual difficulties arise. It's like a mental fire drill, ensuring your emotional response system is ready and calm. This structured reflection and foresight primes tomorrow's calm by reducing uncertainty and building confidence in your capacity to handle whatever comes. It strengthens the walls of your inner citadel brick by brick, ensuring it remains an unshakable sanctuary. You are not just reacting to life, you are actively shaping your experience of it, cultivating a profound sense of inner peace and resilience. With this nightly practice, you are actively training your mind to be your greatest ally, transforming potential anxieties into opportunities for growth and self-mastery. How might this consistent nightly audit transform your relationship with the challenges of your day and prepare you for a more tranquil tomorrow? From the structured calm of our evening audit, where we review our day and prepare our minds, we gain valuable insights into our mental and emotional patterns. This self-awareness is the bedrock of true resilience. It allows us to not only understand where our inner citadel might be vulnerable, but also how to fortify it proactively. The next step amplifies this result by moving beyond mere reflection and into deliberate, conscious practice that builds mental toughness not through avoidance, but through measured engagement with discomfort. This is where the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort comes into play, a powerful tool for inoculating ourselves against the shocks of fortune and expanding our psychological comfort zone. In our modern society, comfort is often seen as the ultimate goal. We seek convenience, avoid friction, and prioritize immediate gratification. While comfort has its place, an over-reliance on it can paradoxically make us fragile. Our nervous system, particularly the default mode network, becomes accustomed to ease, and any deviation from this norm can trigger a disproportionately strong stress response. When we are constantly sheltered from minor inconveniences, our capacity to handle genuine adversity diminishes. Our stress hormones, like cortisol, become hypersensitive, easily triggered by even small disruptions, leading to chronic low-level anxiety. This is the neurobiological equivalent of never exercising a muscle. It atrophies, becoming weak and easily injured. CBT principles emphasize exposure therapy and behavioral activation, gradually facing uncomfortable situations to reduce their emotional power. Voluntary discomfort is the Stoic blueprint for this, a form of self-directed exposure designed to build resilience and gratitude. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, understood that true freedom wasn't about avoiding hardship, but about mastering one's response to it. He famously advocated for periodically practicing hardship. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" This isn't about masochism, it's about conditioning. It's about proving to yourself that you can endure, that your happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, and that you possess an inner reservoir of strength far greater than you imagine. By deliberately exposing yourself to minor discomforts, you desensitize your nervous system to stress, teaching your amygdala that these situations are not threats but merely experiences. This active engagement strengthens the prefrontal cortex's ability to regulate emotions and provides empirical evidence to challenge catastrophic thoughts. The goal of voluntary discomfort is to cultivate indifference to externals that are not truly harmful, thereby expanding your zone of comfort and reducing the power of fear. It's a proactive way to strengthen your inner citadel, making its walls thicker and its foundations deeper. When you consciously choose a minor discomfort, you are asserting control over your experience, rather than being a victim of circumstance. This shift in perspective is incredibly empowering. It builds self-efficacy and confidence, knowing that you are capable of enduring more than you thought possible. This practice also fosters a profound sense of gratitude for the comforts you normally enjoy, transforming them from entitlements into appreciated blessings. Your actionable micro method today is the comfort challenge. Choose one small, non-harmful discomfort to voluntarily introduce into your day. This should be something that pushes you slightly outside your habitual comfort zone, but not something that causes genuine harm or significant disruption. The key is intentionality and observation. Here are some examples of comfort challenges. Skip one non-essential meal or practice intermittent fasting for a few hours. Observe your hunger cues without immediately satisfying them. This teaches discipline and highlights how often we eat out of habit or boredom rather than true hunger. For a set period, intentionally put your phone away and resist the urge to check it. Engage fully with your immediate environment or a single task. This trains focus and reduces dependence on external stimulation. Eat a simple, unadorned meal instead of your usual varied fare. Appreciate the sustenance without the expectation of culinary delight. As you engage in your chosen comfort challenge, pay close attention to your internal experience. Notice the initial resistance, the mental chatter, the urge to quit. Then observe how your mind and body adapt. Remember, you are choosing this discomfort. You are in control. This deliberate exposure, even to minor stressors, builds a robust internal system that is less reactive to unexpected challenges. Neuroplasticity research demonstrates that repeated, intentional exposure to novel or slightly uncomfortable situations fosters the growth of new neural connections, expanding your capacity for adaptation. Embrace a comfort challenge today. This isn't about proving anything to others. It's about proving to yourself that your happiness and peace are not contingent on external ease. It's about building a profound inner resilience that makes your inner citadel not just a retreat from chaos, but a launch pad for courageous action. By willingly stepping outside your comfort zone, you expand your capacity for endurance and cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for what you have, making you less susceptible to the world's turbulence and more grounded in your own strength. What small act of voluntary discomfort will you undertake today to fortify your spirit? Having embraced voluntary discomfort and expanded our capacity for resilience, we've strengthened the individual walls of our inner citadel. We've learned to manage our immediate reactions, strategize our efforts, and reflect on our progress. Now, to truly make our fortress unshakable amidst world chaos, we must elevate our perspective. The final step in this journey is to gain a broader, more encompassing view of our place in the universe, a practice the Stoics called the view from above or cosmic perspective. This profound shift in outlook helps us contextualize our worries, diminish the ego's grip, and cultivate a sense of serene interconnectedness that transcends personal anxieties. In our daily lives, it's easy to become consumed by our immediate concerns, the urgent email, the minor disagreement, the perceived slight. Our perspective narrows, and our ego inflates the significance of our personal struggles, making them feel monumental and overwhelming. This self-referential processing activates brain regions associated with self-focus and can exacerbate anxiety and rumination. The relentless focus on me and my problems can create a tunnel vision that distorts reality, making molehills seem like mountains. When we are caught in this narrow view, our stress response remains highly sensitive, constantly triggered by anything that threatens our immediate comfort or status. This can lead to a feeling of being isolated and burdened, intensifying the perception that the world's chaos is personally directed at us. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the world, regularly practiced this view from above. He urged himself to look down from above on the countless herds of men and their countless solemnities and the infinitely varied voyages in storms and calms and the differences among those who are born, grow up, and die. This practice isn't about belittling our problems, it's about putting them into their proper scale within the grand tapestry of existence. It's about remembering our impermanence, our shared humanity, and the vastness of the cosmos. By mentally zooming out, we detach from the immediate emotional intensity of our struggles, allowing reason and tranquility to return. This cognitive reframing is a powerful CBT technique, helping to challenge the distorted belief that our problems are uniquely catastrophic. It promotes what psychologists call decentering, the ability to observe our thoughts and feelings without being swept away by them. From a neuroscientific perspective, activating this broader perspective can shift activity from the default mode network to regions associated with metacognition and empathy, fostering a sense of calm and connection. The view from above allows us to see ourselves not as isolated individuals battling a hostile world, but as interconnected parts of a larger whole. It reminds us of the shared human experience, that suffering, joy, ambition, and loss are universal. This perspective cultivates empathy, reduces self-pity, and fosters a sense of unity. It grounds us in the present moment by reminding us of the fleeting nature of all things, prompting us to appreciate what is truly valuable. It's a powerful antidote to the ego's tendency to magnify our personal dramas, bringing a serene sense of proportion to our lives. Your actionable micro method today is the cosmic zoom out. This is a mental exercise designed to broaden your perspective and diminish the perceived magnitude of your current worries. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. 1. Start with your immediate concern. Bring to mind a specific worry or stressful situation you are currently facing. Feel its weight, its immediacy. 2. Zoom out to your room. Now imagine floating up to the ceiling of the room you're in. Look down at yourself sitting there. Notice the objects, the space. How does your worry look from this slightly elevated perspective? 3. Zoom out to your building/neighborhood. Continue to float up, seeing your building, then your street, your neighborhood. See the cars moving, people going about their lives. Your worry is still there, but now it's just one small part of a bustling scene. 4. Zoom out to your city/region. Float higher still, above your city, seeing the sprawling landscape, the rivers, the roads. Millions of lives, millions of concerns. Your worry is a tiny speck. 5. Zoom out to your country/continent. Ascend further, seeing the vast land masses, the oceans. Notice the weather patterns, the natural forces at play. 6. Zoom out to planet Earth. Now imagine looking down from space, seeing the magnificent blue marble, swirling clouds, continents illuminated by sunlight. See the entire human population, billions of lives, countless stories unfolding simultaneously. From this vantage point, your personal worry, while still valid, is infinitesimally small in the grand scheme. 7. Zoom out to the solar system, galaxy, universe. Continue to expand your view, seeing Earth as a speck in the solar system, then our solar system as a tiny part of the Milky Way galaxy, and our galaxy as one among billions in the observable universe. 8. Return with perspective. Slowly, gently, bring your awareness back. From the universe, back to the galaxy, the solar system, Earth, your continent, city, neighborhood, building, room, and finally back to yourself.
Practice the cosmic zoom out whenever you feel overwhelmed by the immediacy of a problem. This exercise doesn't diminish the validity of your feelings, but it provides a crucial sense of proportion. It helps to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, inducing a state of calm as your brain shifts from a localized, threat-focused perspective to a vast, interconnected one. You'll find that the emotional charge around your worry often dissipates, replaced by a profound sense of peace and a clearer perspective on what truly matters. This practice helps reduce the self-referential bias, lowering the intensity of stress hormones and promoting a more balanced emotional state. By seeing yourself as part of something infinitely larger, you cultivate a sense of humility, interconnectedness, and a resilient calm that no external chaos can truly penetrate. It allows you to inhabit your inner citadel not as a solitary fortress, but as a grounded vantage point from which to engage with the world with wisdom and serenity. This expanded awareness is the ultimate fortification, making your inner peace unshakable.
Through the cosmic zoom out, we've gained a profound sense of perspective, realizing the relative insignificance of our individual anxieties within the vastness of existence. This elevated view, while initially humbling, ultimately empowers us. It allows us to return to our immediate reality with a renewed sense of purpose, free from the ego's relentless demands and the suffocating grip of self-referential worry. From this spacious perspective, we can now fully embody the Stoic ideal of living and acting in the present moment, embracing whatever life presents with courageous and loving acceptance. This final step solidifies the unshakable calm of our inner citadel, transforming it from a mere refuge into a dynamic platform for virtuous living. The human mind has a remarkable tendency to dwell on the past or project into the future. We replay past mistakes, harbor regrets, or anxiously anticipate future challenges. This mental time travel, while sometimes useful for learning and planning, often becomes a source of chronic unhappiness. When we are not fully present, we miss the richness of our current experience and become susceptible to the anxiety of what. Neuroscientifically, this constant shifting between past and future keeps the default mode network highly active, preventing us from fully engaging our prefrontal cortex in the present moment. This fragmented attention reduces our effectiveness, diminishes our capacity for joy, and maintains a low-level hum of stress as our brain tries to process multiple timelines simultaneously. CBT emphasizes mindfulness, the practice of intentionally bringing awareness to the present moment without judgment, as a core skill for reducing anxiety and improving emotional regulation. Marcus Aurelius, acutely aware of life's brevity and unpredictability, constantly reminded himself and others to focus on the here and now. He wrote, "The present is the only thing of which a man can be deprived, if it is the only thing he has, and that which he has not, he cannot lose." This profound insight underscores the futility of worrying about what is gone or what is not yet here. The only realm of true action and experience is the present moment. This Stoic emphasis on the present is not about passive acceptance of fate, but about active engagement with what is, with the full force of our rational faculties and virtuous intentions. It's about recognizing that our power resides solely in how we choose to act and respond. This active engagement in the present moment, combined with the cosmic perspective, leads us to the Stoic concept of a love of fate. This is not a passive surrender, but an active, joyous acceptance of everything that happens, not just the good, but also the challenging. It's about wishing things to be precisely as they are, understanding that every event, every circumstance is an opportunity to practice virtue, to learn, and to strengthen our character. This radical acceptance liberates us from the exhausting struggle against reality. When we love our fate, we eliminate the mental friction of wishing things were otherwise, freeing up immense mental and emotional energy. This profound shift in attitude reduces internal conflict, thereby calming the nervous system and promoting a deep sense of inner peace.
It's the ultimate expression of the inner citadel, a mind so robust and aligned with reason that it can embrace all of existence without being shaken. Your actionable micro method today is the present moment anchor and Amor Fati affirmation. This practice combines mindful presence with a powerful Stoic affirmation to fully integrate your inner citadel into your daily experience. 1. Choose a sensory anchor. Throughout your day, whenever you find your mind drifting into worry about the past or future, or when you feel the world's chaos encroaching, choose a simple sensory anchor to pull yourself back to the present. It could be the feeling of your feet on the ground, the sound of your own breath, the texture of your clothes, or the warmth of a cup in your hands. Consciously bring your attention to this anchor for 10 to 15 seconds. Notice all the details of that sensation without judgment. This grounds your awareness firmly in the here and now, disengaging your mind from unhelpful mental loops. This simple act of mindful attention activates the prefrontal cortex, helping to regulate the amygdala and reduce the brain's default tendency to wander into anxious thought patterns. 2. The Amor Fati affirmation. As you anchor yourself in the present, internally repeat the affirmation. This and only this is what is happening now. I accept it fully. I embrace it with love. This isn't about liking every circumstance, but about accepting its reality and choosing to respond virtuously. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of frustration, the affirmation becomes, this traffic and only this is what is happening now. I accept it fully. I embrace it with love, and I choose to use this time for calm reflection. If a difficult conversation arises, it's, this conversation and only this is what is happening now. I accept it fully. I embrace it with love, and I choose to respond with clarity and kindness. This two-part practice, repeated frequently throughout your day, is a powerful exercise in mental discipline and emotional liberation. It trains your brain to consistently return to the locus of your power, the present moment, and to meet whatever arises with acceptance and proactive virtue. Research on affirmations and mindfulness shows they can rewire neural pathways, increase positive affect, and reduce perceived stress. By consistently choosing acceptance and love for what is, you dismantle the very mechanism of internal resistance that fuels anxiety. This isn't about ignoring problems, it's about mastering your response to them. By integrating the present moment anchor and the Amor Fati affirmation into your daily life, you cultivate unwavering inner balance. Your inner citadel becomes not just a place of retreat, but a source of strength that allows you to engage with the world with calm confidence, turning every moment into an opportunity for growth. You become truly unshakable, knowing that your peace is not dependent on external conditions, but on your inner sovereignty. Continue to cultivate this profound sense of acceptance and presence, and watch as the world's chaos loses its power to disturb your tranquil core.